Guys, am I a big game merchant? I know what you might are thinking. When you guys saw those 5:45 games, you're thinking, yo, this guy might be a scammer. But then, in the biggest game of the night, the biggest game of the week, arguably, we recovered it with a perfect type score and a couple more good results in the 8 p.m. games. As always, we're going to go through all 9 games. I'm going to go in order of, I guess, let's say importance maybe. So we're going to start with Real Madrid City and go through all of them one by one. Say what I got wrong, because there will be some hands up from me, but also some things that maybe were not my fault where I don't have to take much responsibility. As per usual again, we have hit 59k, so thank you very much. In one day, we went from 58k to 59k. Can we end tonight somehow with 60k? We need 400 more subs for 60,000. Then you guys can have your Q&A and hot takes videos and do whatever you want. Let's tuck in though, because like I said, Real Madrid 1, Man City 2. It was very important, this one, that we waited until right at the very, I guess not last minute, but you know what I mean. I made the video Tuesday around 1 or 2 p.m. because I just wanted to see who's fit, who's not fit, who's traveling, etc, etc. We found out Mbappe's not playing, and that's the moment I said, okay, cool. As much as I think that Madrid at the Bernabeu can create an atmosphere to cause trouble, without Mbappe, they're going to lack that cutting edge. And lo and behold, that is kind of what happened today, because in the first half, I'm going to be honest, this is what the scoreline, hear me out, yeah. The first half is strange because you'd argue it was all Real Madrid, right? I think Vinny gets a penalty minute 2 or 3, granted outside the box. You can even argue did he slightly dive for it. I'm not really sure what you could say there. The only danger for City side was Ryan Cherki. This guy was dribbling guys like he's playing FIFA Street 1 or something, bro. Just doing bare little nutmegs on like Rudiger, and everyone just getting their ears dragged by Ryan Cherki. And I was surprised, to be fair, because of course we know they're developing that kind of connection, himself and Foden. But I didn't think he'd go away at the Bernabeu and play them both together. But I guess it kind of showed why they should. It's weird to say because they won the half technically, right? But that first half was all Real Madrid, and Bernardo Silva was really bad. I don't want to say anything about Foden because the guys are going to like say I'm a hater or something in it. Despite my last video about 5 things we learned, I said that Phil Foden this season has, you know, he's become on fire now. He's no longer Phil Frozen. At the moment I back him, he now comes and does that. Pretty terrible game from him, but alas, the game continues. Like I said, great goal from Real Madrid, right? Sweeping counter, starts from Carreras, who I think had a pretty decent game himself, finds Bellingham, lovely weight of pass for Rodrigo to finally end his 32-game goal drought. It's the meme of the guy finally scores, bro, and he's, you know, running off. They've won their whole World Cup or whatever now that Rodrigo's finally scored a goal. But to be fair, his numbers against City are scary. I believe he's the 2nd highest scorer in their history against Man City, and he's also Madrid's 5th highest Champions League scorer, which is just insane given how meaty he is, I guess, at not club level, at like domestic level, if you will, right, in La Liga. So anyway, like I said, Madrid gets some more chances, right? We're seeing Rudiger had a close header. We're seeing a lot of chances, but then, sorry, almost bit my tongue. But then within about 5 or 6 minutes, City get a goal completely out the blue, right? It's a corner, the ball saved, and it bounces right out to O'Reilly, who gladly takes a free goal, 1-1. And to be fair, he had a decent second half, so I think that goal was deserved, like, in hindsight, if we can call it that. Good goal from himself there. And then Man City do get a penalty. It is I mean, it's the same battle that we've been speaking about for years, right? Rudiger and Haaland. 1 year this guy gets the better, this time it's this guy. Rudiger brings him down like that. They get the penalty, Haaland converts, and that's it, 2-1. I'm thinking, ooh, you know what? As happy as I am that it's 2-1, it's a little bit too early for this. You know when you have like a correct score and you're relying on it, 2-1 at this point, when both teams had plenty of chances, by the way, I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about that. Because Doku in the first half was absolutely roasting Fede Valverde, right? Valverde didn't know what planet he was on at times. But then Doku's end product is gone back to last year. I can't lie, guys. As much as we praised him against Liverpool, it kind of went back to last night. But overall, listen, second half, I think it was more wasteful from Real Madrid than like a good City performance. It's tough to really analyze this game, right? Because on the one hand, you had like Vinny is doing overhead kicks outside the stadium. Jude had a really good chance. He squandered it completely. He tried a little chip and it just went completely wrong, like well over the bar. Donnarumma made some big saves. Even when Endrick came on, right? Alonso just kind of threw the kitchen sink, if you will, brought on Endrick and co. Donnarumma saves a header from him. So in the end, I think you could argue it's a pretty fair result. Maybe I think the City defenders were definitely better than the forwards, is what I would say. Like Haaland obviously got the penalty, but they didn't do that much. Silva and Foden, terrible. Like I said, Shirky was decent, but in the end, I think it's more like Diaz, Gvardiol, and probably O'Reilly you'd give a bit of credit to. But again, like I said, all that matters is perfect. So if that ain't worth a little like on the video, a little sub, I don't know what is. I want to see 1,000 likes as per usual. Now, another game, they were calling me 2-2 Merchant. What I'm gonna say is, in fact, no, do you know what? I'm gonna go, let's do like the English team first, I guess, because you man, I realize when I do the little chapters, you man just want to care about the English team, so no problem. We'll start, or I guess we'll go to Club Brugge Arsenal, right? This is one of the games where I said, well, not one of the games, the only game that I said to completely avoid, because normally when I get things wrong, right, when you go and check like the stats and whatnot, or the score lines rather, I don't really do score lines. I just say this is roughly what will happen. Go and do this. And if it's wrong, it's by like a goal here or a bit of a fluke here. This is the one that I said, guys, I'm going to go with 1-1. But that's because I have no idea what lineup is going to play. I don't think anybody on earth could have predicted this lineup with Norgard at centre-back. Lo and behold, Brugge get battered and bruised 3-0 by Arsenal. And what's crazy about this is the fact that, of course, like we said, heavy rotation against a team that, realistically, you go to their ground, you don't have a lot of fun. Ask Barcelona what their thoughts are about this team. This Carles Forbes guy just seems to run riot against basically, well, I mean, everyone realistically, right? He just goes crazy. But today, it was absolutely nothing. If anything, the most dangerous winger on this pitch and arguably man of the round, week, whatever. We're going to make the video of top 10 tomorrow. And there's a big chance that Madueke might be in that, because his first goal, he bats off like two men. Again, like they're just, you know, insects on the windshield or something, and then bangs it, crossbar in. It reminds me a little bit of, do you guys remember Cyril Regis against Norwich back in 1982? For those of us who remember. Not quite like off the crossbar, Cyril's one, but the same way he just used some strength to get off me, and then scored the goal. There are going to be some uncomfortable conversations. Despite Arsenal winning 3-0, there's a question that I want to ask afterwards. So bear with me. As I'm discussing what's happening, you'll get the point that I'm going to get to here. Right, so Madueke scores that goal. It's a pretty comfortable first half for them. I'll be real. Brugge didn't really offer anything at all, bar a spell of about 10 minutes from minute 35 to 45 where they dominated the possession and they tried their best. But other than that 10 minutes, they didn't really do anything. Second half, Arsenal came out on smoke again. This time Zubimendi whips in a left-footed cross, finds Madueke 2 yards out. He heads home, empty net to get his brace. He's feeling himself, bro. He's gassed. Like when you see when he FaceTimed Ruby Rose and she picked up. Say, whoa, you're on cam, wait, you're on cam. Don't say anything, shh. You know he had to do the most to say, yo, don't say anything mad. He was feeling himself like that today, because him hitting that banger, I say, you know what, fair enough. So 2-0, again, you're thinking, all right, job done, away from home. That's pretty impressive. Then Martinelli, he finds his Brazilian passport, nutmegs one of the defenders, and then whips it, finesses it like his FIFA 12, top corner to make it 3-0, past the pad, whitewash. Now, obviously 3-0, you can say that, you know, not many talking points or disappointments or anything like that, but I do have to raise the question to Arsenal fans, and that, again, let me know if you think this is just, I don't know, it's harsh or unreasonable, or it's a fair point that I'm going to raise here. When I talk about Mikel Merino playing up front, yeah, that like, notice how it's always, this guy gets so many chances, but why does he squander so many of them? And then he'll go and bag one or bag two or whatever. I made the joke about like, he's Arsenal's Mo Salah or whatever, right? He gets so many chances. We then see Gabriel Jesus after being out for like a year, right? We welcome back one of the football's jugadors that we all love to watch. BCM is back, but guess what? Me personally, I don't even care. I liked to watch Gabriel Jesus play football. He misses 3 chances, and then I asked the question, why is it that we never see Gyökeres miss 3 chances in a game, or even get 3 chances? So I sat there, I'm thinking, can I even name you Gyökeres' last 3 shots? One of them might even be like the Burnley goal or something. It's a question that I don't have the answer for, so I'd like to know you guys' thoughts, because many people say, oh, but he don't really miss that many chances, blah, blah, blah. But why is Mikel Merino able to get 10 chances a game? He might miss all of them, sure, but why can he, I don't know if it's movement or link-up play or just determination. I don't know what it is, because I know Jesus is different, right? He can fashion his own chances out of thin air, bro. You will see 4 defenders, next thing you know, Gabriel Jesus is one-on-one and he'll miss. But why is it that Gyökeres, we just don't ever see the guy shoot? That is maybe the only downside on what is otherwise a great night for Arsenal. I don't think there are any more injuries. Marley Salmon made his debut. Look out for him. Heard a lot of good things about him, you know, in the academy and whatnot. But again, Arsenal 3-0. They're the only team to keep their 100% win record. I think it's now what? 70. What is it now? 17 scored, 1 conceded. That's a bit nasty, I'll be real. It's a good way to bounce back from Villa. The other English team that played was Newcastle. And guess what, guys? What did I tell you the score was going to be? Oh, yeah. 2-2. Perfect. Listen, I'm not the kind of guy to do I told you so, I told you so. But sometimes I do be cooking. In the games that matter, in the games of teams that I watch regularly, as you can see, I tend to cook. Now, the game started with Bruno Guimaraes scoring, but he didn't get to do all of his 8 celebrations and spamming the Fortnite emote wheel because unfortunately he put it into his own net, or rather it was headed right into him, into the goal. But you get the point. 1-0 to Leverkusen. Newcastle second half, they get back into it. Anthony Gordon with a penalty. Lewis Miley, Gordon turns provider, I believe. It was him, right, that scooped it up to Lewis Miley. He heads home 2-1. But then it's just inevitable. Of all the players, you can just, if you have to look at this entire team and think, if I got to put my house on one guy scoring, it's always Grimaldo, a left back or left wing back, if you will. He makes it 2-2. But overall, I'm happy with that one, right? Because I said it will be a draw. Leverkusen away is a very difficult game, but Newcastle on the counters are always going to be dangerous with the likes of Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon. Now, obviously, Harvey Barnes didn't quite score this game, but it was enough for me to say, you know what, I got my perfect score correct there. Now, in the other games, they were calling me 2-2 Merchant, and to be fair, this game here did finish 2-2, but unfortunately, not the 2-2 that I was expecting, because I, of course, thought Dortmund at home, a calm little 2-0. You know what I mean? This is a professional 2-0 win. Bodo away from home. Dortmund, you rarely ever drop points, you know, at home. Thought it would be comfy, yeah? And when Brandt scored, I'm thinking, here we go, no problem. But unfortunately, Bodo equalized. Maybe they felt at home seeing the yellow wall, because we know obviously Bodo, they play in yellow. Their stadium's kind of similar, bar, you know, a shoddy AstroTurf pitch. But again, I'm thinking, all right, no worries. You got, you know, a whole half to pattern up here. Dortmund go 2-1 up. They concede again. I said, guys, what are we doing here? So unfortunately, that's a my bad from myself. To be fair, big up to Bodo, by the way. They've got what, 9 Norwegian players in their team. That's kind of, you don't see that often anymore, like in Champions League. Normally you just see, you know, people plucking talent from as much as the world as possible. But fair play to them getting there 2-2. Juve's game, I guess we were kind of correct, if you will. I said, you know what, I wrote 2-0 and then I changed it last minute to go 2-1 because I just felt as though randomly PAFOS would just get something out of nowhere. Didn't quite happen. I thought Yildiz would be on the score sheet. Not quite this time. It was McKennie with, I say, a bullet. It was like it was nice the way it kind of rolled into the net, like aesthetically pleasing, if you will, the way that it fired in. And then David on the counter reminded me a little bit of this is not even like for those of us who remember, but them kind of goals that you would see United score in like 08, right? You know, when it's like Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo. That's just the same kind of counter that I see all the time. Maybe no, is it 09 even? The one like against Arsenal in the Champions semi-final. There's one like away Fulham. It was that kind of counter where it's just sweeping counter, deadly in transition. Fair play to Juve getting the 2-0 win. Is it time to speak about the early games? I think it is. Oh no, let's do this one first. Benfica, because this is one where, a bit similar to the Arsenal game where I said to avoid. I said, Antonio Conte, you are still under house arrest. You've still got a tag on your foot until I can trust you to get any kind of result. And lo and behold, he has shown us why once again. I did say we're going to find out whether or not the last game was a fluke. So do not do anything with this game. And this is what's happened. Richard Rios, a scrappy first goal to make it 1-0 for Jose Mourinho. Mourinho against Conte, by the way. So nice little storyline there. And then he turns provider, getting the assist for Barreiro to make it 2-0. So yeah, listen, fair play to Benfica. They are currently 25th, I believe, in the table now. Napoli is a big loss for them. I cannot believe that this is where they are, 23rd, given how they're performing in the league. But again, that is Conte in Europe for you. Now, let's get on to what happened at 5:45. Because yes, I was in fact watching these games. I'm a nerd. What can I say? I like football too much. I said Villarreal going to win by 1 goal. They lose by 1 goal. My bad. You know, it's about taking responsibility, being held accountable for our actions. However, I'd like to clarify that in this game, some of these players must also take responsibility because they missed about 400 chances, right? We see, Mikhail Tadze missed a couple. Nicolas Pepe had a header saved. So many misses for even like Pedrazza, yeah, had chances. Everybody was getting chances that I have no idea how, despite Copenhagen scoring in the first, 2 minutes, how Villarreal didn't go in at half time even winning this game. They come out second half, they get the equaliser. You're thinking, okay, here we go then. This is it. He actually scores. Maybe it's the first goal I've ever seen where a man scores via sitting down. As in, he sits the ball in. I've never seen that before. He's not like shoulder it in or header it or volley in. He sits it in. Imagine like, when you're a kid, you're like 3 years old and you're at the top of the stairs and you want to get down quickly. And then you sit down on the stairs and you slide down like that. That's basically what this Comesana guy did to score Villarreal's equaliser. But unfortunately, he must have got carpet burn or something because 30 seconds later, they've conceded from the kickoff directly 2-1 Copenhagen. I just had my head in my hands thinking, no way, man. But then Oluwaseyi comes and scores 2-2. I'm thinking, all right, I might not get my 2-1, but Villarreal go get me a 3-2 win. No problem. Again, chance upon chance upon chance. Fair play to Kotarski, was making saves. And at the death, we get a dagger from Cornelius, 3-2, who had just come on, by the way. So, hey, fair play to Copenhagen. Villarreal is looking dark. How can you be third in La Liga and you sit on 1 point in the Champions League? Fair enough, man. Again, that one I'm not going to take too much blame for it. I feel like I did my job on that one, but this is the one where I say, okay, fairs. Because Qarabag, what's your man's problem? And even then, I have a bit of excuses, but I hold my hands up. I put Qarabag to win 2-1. I said, you know what? Ajax have 0 points. I can never trust these guys. Qarabag, I've been giving you guys like a draw here and there, but let me respect you guys properly. And at minute, 80 or so, I'm thinking, hey, 2-1, it's looking perfect. I'm waiting for everyone's comments to come flying in saying, hey, he done it again. You're so cold. You're so cold. Ajax, 3 goals in 10 minutes. I said, really? Was there any need for that, guys? Was there any need for that? Gluckbags 2, and this guy scores as well. Pretty nice banger, to be fair to him. But, yeah, unfortunate because I finally bagged these guys to score. Adai had a chance as well, volleyed over. It's just, yeah, it's dark. It's my bad for that one. And lastly, a 0-0. This one is not my bad. This is Barcola's bad. And it's the same issues that I've been telling you, man, from day one that will never seem to go away. Whenever anyone tells me Barcola's, he can be world class, he's a generational talent, I just don't buy it, bro. For as incredible as he is, 1v1 dribbling, 1v1 with a goalkeeper in front of him, you might as well put me there. Genuinely, you might as well put me there. We have the same chance of scoring. When you calculate the XG, you have to factor in Barcola tax. Because 0.8 XG, you have to put one more 0 in front of it for Barcola. That's how you factor in his chances. So he will score every now and then because he'll get 50 chances, but just not enough. Like I said, I put Bilbao to lose this game. PSG obviously winning didn't happen. So that is the final table, or the current table rather, with 2 games to go. Arsenal all but safe pretty much in terms of getting top 2, right? We know top 2 is the most important now. Obviously top 8 is crucial, but top 2 gets you those home ties in the knockouts and whatnot. So yeah, it's looking interesting. Chelsea and Barca with a lot of fighting to do. Liverpool as well. Spurs had a decent fixture list. A lot to do for a lot of teams here. Let me know who you guys think are going to make top 8. Let me know if any results shock you today. On the whole, a great week in general in terms of a lot of correct results or outcomes and some nice perfect scores as well. But as per usual, let me know your thoughts. Tomorrow we go again. Road to 60k. I want to wake up and see 60k. And the comments just say, oh, congrats, Unc. Congrats, Unc. Make sure you're there. In a bit, bosh.